the freedom to be in your creativity, I think, is very hard to access if you don't feel like you have a baseline safety and you don't feel like you have like structures in place to support you. I am a practicing graphic designer and art director by trade. That's like what I do at the company that I work for. But then I very much consider myself more just like a general maker of things. Doing the work to create a more stable and secure financial foundation has allowed my creativity to like open up a lot more, I think, and for me to feel more comfortable like pursuing it and giving it time and energy. I'm like playing around with this idea of like a sabbatical, and they're like 2 years ago me would never have even like would have been like no way, like there's no possible way. I have to be working, I have to constantly be working, because otherwise like I'm gonna like end up in financial ruin, or I don't know, whatever, like it just never felt possible. And now it's like, okay, well, all I want is to just not spend all of my time and energy working and just make things. Being creative requires such a deep sense of safety that like having a strong financial foundation gives you. I think I was on a bit of a finance-ish light journey before that, which is why I felt like ready when the course came into my life. But I think it's been so transformative in my like agency around my finances. Like I was trying to get into it and there was so much both like resistance, couldn't make sense of it all, and it felt so overwhelming and hard to enter into. Lexi and Delaney did just like they do such an amazing job of making it like accessible and like truly meeting each person where they're at and like getting it like, okay, you want to understand this concept, where are you coming from, what is going on for you, what is your resistance, like they are just so amazing at like getting to you on like an individual person by person basis. I even talked to my parents about this. Like a lot of my like scarcity mindset comes from the money situation they had while I was growing up. And I considered them like good with finances and like knowledgeable. So it's been interesting now to circle back with them with all the knowledge I've gained through this course. And they're like, you're teaching us things now that we didn't know. And I assumed they did. And they're like, if we had had access to this information when we were younger, we would have lived an entirely, like our financial situation would have been entirely different because we would have known like what to build, what to invest in, what to pay attention to, and like been able to make more informed choices. I've been operating from this scarcity mindset that I was letting run the show without really investigating it. And now I'm like, oh, you're scared of having the same financial situation as your parents, but you fundamentally will never be that way because you have knowledge that they didn't have. Being able to learn all these things about your finances and feel like, okay, even if the situation isn't exactly the way that I want it to be, money isn't where I want it to be, things aren't flowing quite yet, like I have the knowledge and the tools to like work with the things that I have. And then I think that just generates like, I don't know, that just like gets the energy going. And then I feel like the flow of money just feels so different. Me a year ago would never have like felt safe enough to even pursue that path. Like now I freely am like, I'm out. Like I can't do this anymore. Like I'm really letting myself feel how much and like how bad I want space and time to work on something else. And that just I would not have felt safe to do last year. Again, like is only possible because of that shift that happened in the past year after taking the course. And I think being in the practice has been really helpful too, because then it's like every 2 weeks and even in between that talking to like St. Delena, I'm like actively staying in my finances, being held accountable, having a place to ask questions when like new things come up, and like hearing other people's stories, feeling so inspired by them. Like it like has really, really helped, I think, too, to like perpetuate or like to keep the work going and keep the energy moving. This idea of watching what with the knowledge and the tools you're able to provide for yourself is so like soothing, but also like it just grows your confidence and like your like trust in yourself of like I feel like that just feels like it creates this very deep felt sense of like, oh, I've got me. Where I get in my own way the most is like picking a thing, fixating on it, and turning it into something very big that I then just want to avoid. And for me, investing was that thing. Like it was, I blew it up in my head as this huge big thing, and it felt so overwhelming and stressful and scary, and like I couldn't do it and I couldn't touch it. Having a time where I'm like surrounded by people who are like incredible and also in it with me and just so safe and are like, okay, we're gonna like, I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna just do this. Like it's perfectly safe. Like you are perfectly safe. You can do this thing was like such an unlock for me because it was like the thing that I blew up the biggest. I'm like, okay, I could do this. Like, this is so easy now. And then it's like, okay, well, what else can I do? Like, what else is possible? The thing that I felt like was the scariest in understanding my finances and felt so like I need an advisor, I need a thing was like, okay, well, I can do it myself. Like, I don't need anyone else to figure this out for me. You just got you. Like, okay, I can invest. Okay, I need to like save up for something. Great, I'll figure it out. Like, that was a huge, huge unlock for me. This sheer fact that Lexi and Delana are bringing finances and community together is like, again, I feel like such an unlock and such a like nobody's doing that. It's like notoriously the number one thing that people are like, we don't talk about that. Like we don't share that. We don't like it's so internal, it's so individual, and like I think that is just one of the 10 million thousand ways where like our culture of like hyper individuality is like doing us dirty. Also, though, to be like just held by other people in the financial like fear or nervousness or like excitement, like I think it's so I think it's so impactful. Like being in your own financial journey but in community, I think completely changes the game and like your experience of finances. And like I think even being able to be through the practice and through the course just like in continuous conversation with people around like my finances and other people's finances is like allowing me to bring that into other areas of my life where like now I'm asking all of my friends and like trying to be like, okay, well, like if you don't want to talk about it, that's great. If you like are not interested, whatever, but like if you want to talk about it, it can be so fun. I think my idea of a rich life prior to Wealthkind was much smaller. Like I think it was much more around this idea of it being actually like a very traditional definition of rich. Like I have money. And like I don't think I ever needed to have like a crazy amount of money, but just enough money where I was like, okay, when I have an amount of money, unclear what that amount was, but if I had an amount of money, I would finally not feel so scared, so worried, would not be in scarcity mindset. Like I could do something else. Another thing that's been so transformative about this course is that like a rich life became a very clear idea to me of like, okay, well, what does that mean? And actually, what does it take to get there in very practical ways? And then also in like more emotional ways. So I was like, could do the work of like, okay, well, a rich life means to me, like, means aligning like a life that's aligned with my values. And what do I value? What do I even want money for? And it's like, oh, I want it for freedom. Like I want to feel free and have space and I want to feel free and I want to feel safe. And like I want money in order to do those things. I don't need a certain amount or whatever. Like I want to feel safe and I want to feel free. Is there an amount that will do that and why? And then it was like, okay, I can unpack the layers of like there is an amount that allows me to like not work like purely driven by scarcity mindset. Like I can press the gas or press the brakes a little bit and work a little bit less because I know that I have a certain amount in the bank that like when I retire, I'll be okay. Like I could like backtrack it to like, oh, very practically, it means X amount because of X, Y, and Z reason. And then on a like more emotional level, it's like, oh, and that gives me freedom and safety, which is like, that's what feeling like a rich life means to me. I think it both like crystallized the idea and made it so much bigger. It also puts this idea of a rich life not so much like on a pedestal as something that, okay, I will get to it. It's like something that can be a part of your life now. Rich, like the word rich in multiple different ways. Like there's rich in like the very strictly financial way, but then there's also rich like full and vibrant. And like when you call a color rich, it's like very saturated and like yeah, like I think it's such a beautiful term for a life, like a rich life, because it's like you want it to be financially good, but like that's not even the point. It's like you want a very like saturated, vibrant, life, even more than you probably want money. You're building a rich life in so many different facets simultaneously, which is really beautiful.